long U sound. And long U says you, doesn't it, boys and girls? Now let's look up on the board while Miss Baby marks down a few ways you can get in different words you can get this sound. I'll move a little bit out of this just out the way. And here we go. All right. Read Miss Moody what y'all written. Read Miss Moody what y'all written today.
Good morning, Owl. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas and New Year's Day. It's exciting to start a new year in 2021. Today is special because it's Chandler's 8th birthday. We also have a new visitor, Jackson from CFK, and we have finished today. Love, Mrs.
Wow. Now I feel silly asking you this, but did everybody sing happy birthday to you?
Yes.
Good. Well, happy birthday. And Chandler, you know that the whole world's a better place just because you were born. Because there's nobody in the world just like you. Nobody. There never has been and there never will be. So that makes you more valuable than all the gold and money and diamonds in the world. We're just so glad you're attending the school with us.
3 minutes after school started, I was born 8 years ago.
Oh, let's have a moment of silence for that kid. There we go. Thank you for sharing that with us. Now, who is the leader? Walker? Walker, this is so nice. But would you please erase it so Miss Vicky can put up a few new words that we'll need to look at? Chandler, while Walker's doing that, could you read what it says in the white box for us? Look at the white box.
What are these?
You can erase that, Walker. Walker, you can erase it.
What page are you on? You should be on page 163. Okay, you're right. Hey, baby girl. Everybody on 163? Okay, you have,
Charlotte, are you on page 163?
okay, Charlotte, you missed a whole week of school, darling? Is that correct?
Carson, you've been here,
I
haven't
mean,
you?
Carson?
No, she was in Disney World.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
that was at the beginning of the year.
All right. Okay, we doing okay?
Yep.
All right. Now, Walker, you want me to finish?
You got it.
Can you finish? Okay, I have,
Mary, all around.
I got it, thank you, darling. I need, Ansley, I need you to do this for me if you don't mind. And you might want it too for your book report.
Yeah, are we going to, I need to sit down before.
Well, I need to give them another one to
Okay.
remind them, and you do too.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Not to copy. Braden Malachi, where's Malachi? Yay! Welcome back, clap for Malachi. And Bryce, you were absent, and Braden was absent. These three need to take this test.
Okay.
Liz said there's no reason, you're all right. There's no reason to get Malachi to do all that tutorials. But if we could just get these three to do this test,
Okay.
that would be a great help to me.
You want me to take it like to the library and have them read it first?
Um,
And then,
Right, but Now remember, your spelling words are also coming from these words that you're going to be looking at on the board. I'm just going to show you some examples of how we use the U. First, we use it just as a U in this word. What is that word, class? Uniform. And it's just the U. Then the U consonant E. Let's look at a word that uses that spelling pattern. What would that word be, boys and girls? Q. You have the U, the consonant, and the E. Silent E on the end. Excuse me. EW can give us the U sound. What would this word be, boys and girls? But U. The U. You hear that long U. Another one. Yes. Real quick. I'm not going by the book. I'm not going by the book. I'm just giving an example. Next, let's look at UE. What is this word, boys and girls? Clue. Clue. The clue behind the old clock. And we know long U says U or oo, doesn't it? Yes. Next, let's look at our you know what I meant to put though is this Q. Who knows if you have a Q what that is? Bryce, Brock, if you're in a play and the director gives you a cue, like, what does that mean?
That means you come up
And do your lines, exactly. A cue means like a hit. Also, I think in pool, don't you call that stick a cue stick? And then you have a ball or something, and you get it in the pocket of the pool table. I don't play pool, so I don't know about that. And then let's look at this is a really cool way to get long U. IEW. That is so neat. What is this word, class? And there's your IEW. Review. Review. To view means to do what, Walter? If you view something, you look at it, you see it, you view it. If you review it, what do, Walter? You see it again. Let's review something. We review how to do something. Like if your mom says, put the toothpaste on your toothbrush, put a little water on it, brush your teeth, and count to 60. And then rinse your mouth out, rinse your toothbrush off, and put your toothbrush up. Now she would say, now, Brock, let's review what I just told you about brushing your teeth. What would you do? You would say all that again, wouldn't you? Did you remember what Miss Minnie said? Can you do it? Would you like it now? Rockstar, wow, class. Well done. Raise your hand if you could remember all those steps or the sequence. First, next, then, last. Very good. Here's your brain. Here's your brain. All right, boys and girls. Now, let's ask James, our little buddy, to read the first row of our words. Now, you're going to underline and circle some of the words, so Chandler, don't do the shoe down on your brand new boots. Turn around row 1.
Row 1. Hug.
Read the whole row.
Right, turn around, look at your book.
Hug. Hug. You.
Okay, good. Let's
Us.
us and
You.
very good. Thank you, James. I appreciate that. Now, we don't have anything to circle or underline in that row, but row 2, read that for us, please, Layla. We have the long U for Q, Q, Q. When the flames come up, you might smell some fumes. A horse and a donkey make a mule. A mule is an animal with 2 funny ears. Mute, and mute means to do what? Hollis to the sound. If you mute it, right. Q, and that's the word we put up here. Give us a Q in the play. And the last word, the gas for the car is its fuel. And our fuel is what, Braden? What's our, don't you look so handsome, and I love your sweater. What do we have, Walker, for fuel? Food. And healthy, good food is good fuel for us. Now, in that second row, underline Q, pick up your pencil. I've given you a Q. Pick up your pencil, underline Q and fuel. Right now, the last 2 words.
Why
Every word that has
specific?
So it's one that has E.
How are they different than any words you've seen so far?
They have you. They have you.
They have U, E together. Put that bottom down. So, what you should do is have the Q underlined and the fuel underlined. Bryce, I missed you. Tell me, Bryce, 3 for me, row 3.
You.
Bryce, Q, row 3. Watch this a few people. And when you go to the maps and you stop to look at the view, did you say unit? And then what is that last word? Argue. Now listen, we're going to do 3 things here. We're going to circle view. We're going to circle view. View. And because they both have EW. Although one has IW. And then the last word we're going to underline because it says argue with the UE. Do you see what Miss Moody's saying? So go to row 3, circle view, and put a line under argue. Now row 4, we're not going to circle or write anything, but read it for us, please, Taylor. Okay, try to read a little louder. And if you use something, that's good, but if you misuse it, you're using it the wrong way. Like, I've seen people take a pencil and try to use it to open something up. Are you supposed to use a pencil to open stuff? No. That would be a misuse, wouldn't it? Right, Hollis? What's the next word?
Use, unuse, fuse, refuse.
Very good. Now, read row 5 for us, please. Maya,
Is there anything on view?
nothing on 4, we so told you that.
View, review,
Rest, rest, rescue, right. Barbecue, yum, that's making me hungry. Boys and girls, do this for Miss Moody, please. What I need you to do is circle the first 3 words, view, review, and preview. Could you circle those first 3 words? And then underline the last 3, cue, rescue, and barbecue. Yes?
I'm a little confused because why do we underline Q? It doesn't have, circle Q. It doesn't have I-E-U. All the other ones we circle have I-E-U.
We're on row 5. View has IEW, so does review, and so does preview.
Yeah, but I don't get why we circled.
We circle it if it has EW or IEW.
Oh, W.
But, you know, James, you are so smart. And if you would look at the patterns, try to always look at the patterns and see what you're doing and see how the pattern goes. It's like in math. If Miss Moody told you 2, 4, 6, 8, could you figure out what pattern that would probably be?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
What would that pattern be?
It would be counting my keys.
It would be very, very good. So in your phonics, when we work on these words, before you ask Miss Moody, because you're so smart, try first yourself to see what the pattern is.
But that was the only number circle that didn't do it.
Well, you know what? You are absolutely
You
right.
didn't do what she asked you to do. You
I
had to-
understand your question, and that was a valid, important, and good question.
You didn't do what she asked you to do either.
Everybody needs to underline and do what Miss Moody said. Read row number 6 for us,
Can you,
please.
can you review or say one more time what to do for row 5? Because there are several people that didn't listen.
On row 4, there's nothing done. Nothing. On row 5, the first 3 words we circle and the last 3 we underline.
So Charlotte, pick up your pencil.
So, all you need to do is put a circle there. Around the whole way. And these are long, okay, you're fine. Charlotte, read verse 6 for us. If something is very strange, we say that is what? Unusual?
I'm gonna have a question if you're not following along.
If you continue, you go ahead. If you discontinue, what do you do? If you discontinue, what do you do? Class? You don't do it. You stop. So, and what are your last 2 words? And you go to museum. What Ms. B would like you to do is just underline continue and discontinue. No, underline continue and discontinue. We underline it if it has UE. That's why you did it. UE together. You do nothing to those. Well, that's not good. What does UN say? On. Long U says you. Shoe. It's not unusual to be loved by anyone. Da 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 da. That's an old song. And this word is what? Okay, that's been a bonus word, sweetheart.
What?
It has. Oh,
Beautiful, beautiful.
yes. And you have a beautiful mind that you need to trust and realize that. Have faith that you do. Now, let's go to row 7. Maya, would you read that for us, you darling sweetheart?
Blue, June, blue, and shirt.
Very good. Nothing to do there as far as circling and underlining. Go to row 8. That sentence. Hollis, would you read that, sweetheart?
We can use this menu to order our food.
Good. Lauren Gray, could you read sentence number 9?
She has a few cats.
What kind of cats? She has a few.
Cute cats. And one huge dog.
Okay. Underline. Oh, circle few. F-E-W. Boys and girls, you have some words on the back together. Around first. It's and park. Let me tell you about it's. And I think we've talked about this before. Yes, Ray, what is it? All you do on that last sentence is circle few. That's all you do. Nothing. Okay. On sentence number 7, they don't have, oh, they do. They have U-E. So I don't know why they're not, but they're not. But if you want to, you can underline it. That was so smart of you to see that, Braden. Yes.
There's like a consonant.
Oh, maybe because it's saying ooh. Not to you, ooh, blue. It's saying the ooh sound of long U, but to you is saying the long sound of long U. That must be it, Braden. That is so good that you noticed that. Thank you. Thank you for pointing that out. All right, now, what else? It's. Thank you, because I totally went by my Miss Minnie's little brain. It can be written as a contraction. We keep the first word, and then we karate chop a letter out and keep this. Excuse me, somebody's talking over me. The reason we do that, James, is so that we are writing something faster. That is correct. James, why do we use contractions?
To make words shorter so we don't have to write the whole thing.
Right. And also when we sing songs, it makes it sound better. Like, raise your hand if you remember Mr. Rogers. TV show. Oh, I love Mr. Rogers. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Won't you be my neighbor? Won't you please? Please won't you be my neighbor? And Mr. Rogers would say, it's a beautiful day. Because his song would not sound as good if he said, it is a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It sounds better. But this word, it's, is not a contraction. And it's not showing ownership. It's is like your sentence it gives you. The cute dog chased its tail. We don't mean the cute dog chased its tail, do we, Maya? That's not what we mean. We wouldn't even talk like that. The word is just it's. So it's can be in contraction when it means it is, Bryce. But here it's just means the dog's tail is. Its tail.
So it
Not it is. It's not a contraction. It is a whole new word that just means what the dog has. Yes, Jay?
So it's possessive?
It's not, it doesn't have it doesn't have an apostrophe.
I know that
Its is a word that, it can be a contraction if it has an apostrophe. But if we say that the dog chased its tail. We don't want to say it wouldn't sound right to say the dog chased its tail. So you just say its. It's a word,
but
but
why?
it doesn't have an apostrophe because it's a whole complete word.
But why?
Okay, I'll talk to you later about it, okay? And give you several sentences and let you decide whether it needs an apostrophe or not, okay? Yes.
I thought it always had an apostrophe.
Okay, well, it's different, and we'll talk more about that when we have a little bit more time. But I understand what you're saying, it is confusing.
It really is.
It really is. So what I want you to do for me though, right now, is gently tear this page out. Write your name on the top of it, okay?
Oh.
And then very quietly get out your reading book. They have their brand new reading book, right?
I haven't passed it out yet because I didn't want them like messing with it before you were ready. But it's ready to go to them.
Okay.
So what page do you want them to do for comment?
It's 116. What is it, go for?
164.
Are you ready for them to have their goal?
I am.
Okay. Walker, have you put your homework away? Walker, have you put your homework? Nope. Turn around, Mary. Walker, come here. Charlotte, turn all the way around. Mary, I'm not gonna ask you again to turn around. Turn all the way around. Right away.
You know. How I do. Whatever I did there, you see down between the sheet and this story and this page. I don't have an idea. Because I never know how fast it goes. Or I mean, I have to sit there and count how many pages, some of these books are 3 pages and some have 6. Well, you know what that is. You've got a week, yeah.
Don't
And
write
they
in
go
your
with
book.
her spelling words for the week.
Yeah,
And they go through with her spelling words for
Yeah,
the
yeah.
week.
I got that.
I did the wrong one.
Huh? So,
Okay,
you missing one?
this,
So you did not
boys
get
and
one.
girls,
It doesn't matter.
Jay, listen to this video.
Don't worry about the numbers.
It
Did you get out all the
is,
books I gave you? Walker.
it's one of the most common
Walker.
English grammar
Did you
mistakes
give out all the
made.
books I gave you?
It
So you're
has
missing one?
no
Let
apostrophe,
me mark it down really quick.
but it is possessive, so that's why it's confusing. It's a word that many people find confusing because most possessives use apostrophe S, but it's with no apostrophe right here. It's the possessive form of the pronoun it. So it has no apostrophe. Do you understand? It just doesn't. It's confusing, but it doesn't. So we'll have to remember and practice sentences where we have the word it, and then sentences where we have the contraction it is it's with an apostrophe. That would be a great idea. Also along with that is a rule I always think about is a and an. When you use the word a, if you have a word that begins with a vowel like apple, you want to say, here is a apple. Can you say that, or do you say here is an apple?
And apple.
You say an apple, because if your word starts, the first letter is a vowel, you have to use an. But if you saw a cake, this is a cake. Cake begins with a consonant. So you would say a cake, but you would say an apple. All right, now, everybody should have that page in their homework folder, I guess. Have y'all already done that? Okay, where's your teacher?
What page? She went to go get.
She can went to what?
A coffee. Yeah.
Okay, go to the coffee room and see if she's in there because I need her. Yeah.
I know where Peter Rabbit.
Well, just wait a minute. That's okay. I'll call her. Jordan,
I know where Peter Rabbit.
I'll just call her. Okay. First, let me talk to y'all about this story, and then I do need her to take 3 of y'all that have been absent and get these tests. And boys and girls, let's try not to be absent unless we absolutely have to, okay? Let me just show you. Yeah, turn. This unit is about responsibility. And being responsible means what, Bryce? If you're responsible.
Like doing stuff.
If you're responsible, do you have your homework?
Yeah.
Yes, you know where your stuff is. You have your stuff. And you take care of it. Boys and girls, this is a word that many of you may not know. It does not look like it sounds. Does anybody know what that word is? Uh-huh. It should be, but it's pronounced lacquer. Lacquer is a clear paint or varnish that goes over wood to make it shiny, or it can go over painted wood. But that's the word lacquer. Boys and girls, we have, we use a mailbox, but in some countries, what do they call it, class? Post box. Look at this word. What would this be, boys and girls?
Curiously.
Curiously. It's the way that you might do something. Miss Moody curiously wondered why people would sit without their feet on the floor. Boys and girls, I hope you're not this, but this feeling does make you change your behavior for a good way. Did you wait until I asked? Thank you. What would this word be, class?
Ashamed.
Ashamed. It makes you feel bad but it also makes you realize that you have got to change the way that you do stuff. All right, boys and girls, this story, oh, can you get them now? This story is about, you can just take one of the old reading books. That's the story at the bottom.
Chandler, why do you have a ruler out?
I'll take it. Oh, just put it down. Okay, now, Bryce, you and Michaela, and,
Braden, Stencil,
what's this name?
Malika.
Malachi, and, Brady. Sorry. Malachi was pretty sorry. Excuse me. Boys and girls, when Miss Bitty makes a mistake, is it nice to say Michaela? Is that nice? No, I said I was sorry. I said I made a mistake. So just drop it. All right, now boys and girls, what I want you to do is understand that this is a story written by a lady that was born and she lived for many years in Japan. And so the words, many of these words are Japanese, and I've looked up all the ones that I can. Some of them I'm not exactly positive on the pronunciation. We still know what the word is. So, we still know what it means. And names sometimes can be said in different ways anyway. People's names, like, but anyway, okay, yes, welcome, sweetheart. Do you know something about Japan? Okay. Well, let's go ahead, boys and girls, and I did want to tell you this. If you're a girl in here and you're not Santa, but if your mother or grandmother gave you a doll for Christmas, would you raise your hand? Okay, Jordan. Oh, I think I saw your hand first. In our minds, let's picture Jordan's sweet grandmother, and she goes to the store and she picks out a doll for Jordan that she knows she wants her to have. And then she takes the doll home and she gets a gift bag or a box and tissue paper and lovingly wraps the doll up. Maybe while she's wrapping the doll up, she might be thinking about when she was a little girl and a little doll that someone gave her, maybe her mother. And she might start daydreaming. You know, when you think in your mind and you're awake about something, you daydream. And she might daydream about long ago when she had a special doll. Well, in this story, the grandmother is wrapping up a pair of beautiful red clogs for her granddaughter. And she is thinking about a story about clogs when she was a little girl. It reminds her of that time in her life. So it's like a memory. So boys and girls, go ahead. We put a few new words on the board that I thought you might have some little trouble with. But the grandmother's, the narrator is the grandmother, and her name is Mako, and the little girl's name we pronounce Kara. I'm sorry, it's not her name, it's the sound. Kara Kara. Can you say Kara Kara? Kara Kara. Kara Kara. Go ahead and read pages 16, 17, 18, and 19. This is a long story. I think we can go ahead and do 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. And 21. Try if you can. If we don't have time, we'll be okay. I'll write it on the board, boys and girls. Pages 16 through 21. If we could read that today, that would be good.
What does that say?
Let Miss Beauty come over here out the way and put my mask up. All right, what you got there?
What does that say?
Lacquer. Now see, you need to listen to the early morning words on the board so you know lacquer is that clear paint. Boys and girls, this is, Blue Bonnet was one of Miss Minnie's favorite stories in the other book. Blue Bonnet, remember that? With her doll? Well, this story is one of my most favorite stories in this book. Okay? So, Bryce, read it, sweetheart. Can you put that up for me? Can you put all that up and read your story for me? That will be a sweet boy. Now, if you try to sound the word out and you use all your strategies and then you still can't, tobacco. Boys and girls, tobacco is a crop South Carolina used to grow so much of. But tobacco is in cigarettes. Not very many people smoke cigarettes anymore, so we don't grow much tobacco. And cigars, too. Wooden, log. Boys and girls, tobacco. Don't ask me that word again because I've already told you, okay? It says at the end of the street there was a small tobacco shop with a red painted post box. That means mailbox in front. Boys and girls, there'll be a couple of Japanese words in here. Thong, that's the, you have a thong is the piece of a rope or material that goes between your toes on California. It's just a sound. Granddaughter. Lacquer, remember we talked about that? It's a clear varnish or paint.
I missed that.
Okay, boys and girls, I think you have a chance to get started. Good. We'll go ahead and start reading a little bit, okay? And see how it goes. Let's see, Walter, you're our leader today, right? Would you start us out? Everybody turn to a pair of red clogs. But Walker, before you begin, let me just tell you a little bit about the author that wrote our story. Her name, it says on page 27, Masako Matsuno.
Huh?
Masako Matsuno was born in Japan. That's why her name sounds unusual. Doesn't sound like an American name,
No,
does it?
no.
Like Margaret Moore or something. She saw her first American picture book when she was in college, and so she decided to come to the United States to study more about writing children's books and about children's libraries. Matsuno got her idea for writing a pair of red clogs one day as she was walking. She began wondering how wooden clogs would sound on the smooth paved road. Matsuno wondered also how American children would like to hear the clatter of wooden shoes on the pavement. Then she says, got an idea, or rather I should say, I've got a wish to tell a story about real Japanese children to American children. That's what she wanted to do. She wanted to tell us a story about Japanese children. And we could learn a little bit more about them, couldn't we, boys and girls?
Yay.
Read first for us. Now, boys and girls, guys, if you don't mind, please put your book flat down on your desk and let's let Walker begin. Know where we are now because you might be next, okay? Put your finger under a pair of red clogs.
Pair of red clogs. A pair of old cracked wooden clogs. I found them last night in a storeroom of my house. When I was looking for a lock to send a pair of clogs
A,
to
what kind of pair? A.
new pair of clogs to my grandmother.
So she found her old clogs when she was looking for a box to send her granddaughter a new pair of clogs. Read the next paragraph for us, please, Mary.
I didn't see little brown.
The new pair
The new pair is
cover up the ED. What's P-A-I-N-T? Long A. Painted. Painted.
painted with red
Lacquer. That's our new word. And they sound it out. SH says what? Shh. Long I says right. We already talked about that word this morning, and James right in front of you. Remember, he read that. What's that word? Beautifully.
beautifully. The old pair is also heard
That's the same word again with a long A. Long A says A.
with
Right.
red
Lacquer. Everybody say lacquer. Excuse me, she's reading.
and they to beautifully with when they were
When they were what? They were shiny. They showed beautifully when they were EW saying ooh, when they were new. When the, you have when the.
When the old year was new, I was
As
as
young.
young as my
All right. Now let's go to Hollis. We're on the top of the next page. One evening.
One evening, when I was as young as my granddaughter is now, I went shopping with my mother in the small town in the country where we lived. There were many stores along the main street.
Okay, let's let Laura Gray pick that up. At the end,
At the end of the street, there was a small
tobacco.
tobacco shop with a red painted post box in front. I love to go into this shop because wooden clogs were sold there too.
Okay. I was Taylor.
I was going to choose a pair of them to wear to school starting the next day. Just one pair.
All right, James. There were.
There were many clogs of many colors. A black pair, 2 blue pairs, 3 yellow pairs, 4 red pairs, 5 white pairs, and many, many more than that.
All right. We'll let Wasi read. All were ranged. Wooden. Shelves. Clogs. So blue. Okay, so she's deciding which color. The blue would be nice, or the yellow ones. Now, read on the next page, Chandler. Boys and girls, turn to the top of the next page, page 18. Fingers up under which pair, Chandler?
Which pair would you like, little girl? Asked the lady of the store. Red, blue, yellow.
All right. Read this for us, please. I wonder. Lana, what I quietly. Blacker. Thong. Okay, read next for us, please, Carson. But let me just show you this is what the thong is, boys and girls. It's like, if this is your shoe, the thong on the back, that's what you would see. But on the front, you would see a piece of cloth like this, and then the person's foot the big toe. We made it too wide. There's the big toe. There's the nail. 2, 3, 4. And those are little toes. Okay? This piece of material, this cloth, goes right here, and that keeps the shoe on. You've worn a flip-flop before, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Uh-oh, but it's called a foot-on. Go ahead, please, and read that again.
It was almost dark when we went out of the shop with the new clogs in my hands. Lights were on in the stores, and goods of the stores looked very pretty under the lights. Polished apples looked as if they were painted.
Okay, boys and girls, goods are simply whatever the store has for sale. On the next page at the top, read for us, please, Xavier. Fresh, bluish,
Fishes look almost alive on blocks of shining ice, and Rose was still wearing glue on their dark red petals, as if they had just come from the garden.
very good. Uh-huh.
Fishes is not a word.
Well, and some people do use it like that, but it is not. You're not supposed to say fishes. It should be just fresh blue fish. Well, boys and girls, I love the way the author describes the roses. It says the roses were still what? Wearing dew. You know, dew are the droplets of water early in the morning. So instead of just saying the roses were so fresh, they still had dew on them, the writer says it in such a nice way. He says the roses were wearing dew. I like that very much. Read next for us, please, Carson.
But my new clogs were the most beautiful of all. They were so gray and
Gay, that means happy.
gay and so light that I felt as if it was wearing nothing when I walked. They talked.
Carol.
Carter. When I ran, they sang here, here, along with me. I went to school. I played with my friends. I went shopping with my mother, wearing the new pair. Everybody said, "Aren't they pretty?" I was happy very.
Oh, that's so nice right here. I'll play with that. I didn't want to stop. I think you said, that's okay. You did great. Turn the page. Here we are on 20. Jordan, read for us, please. One evening.
When the sun was going down, my friend and I were walking down the hill. The sun was just setting, and everything looked orange and its rays. The sky, the grasses, my friend and I.
And then, boys and girls, these are Japanese words. And she's saying ashita. It doesn't look like it, but ashita. Ashita tenkini. Tenkini. Ashita tenkini. Tenkini. Ashita tenkini. Nair. Ashita tenkini nair. Tenkini.
One of the girls sang and
Kick.
kicked her wooden clog into the air.
Uh-oh. So one of the girls said, Ashta Tinkini Nair, and kicked her wooden clog way up into the air. Did you see it? What happened next? Read for us, please, Luke. I started Kitty there. May it, this is telling, may it be fine tomorrow. I guess it means maybe, may it be a pretty day tomorrow. It's called the weather telling game because it says what? I did it too.
This game is called the weather telling game. If your clogs fall to the ground,
Like this.
it will be a fine day tomorrow. And if like this, there will be snow.
Okay.
And if like this, it will rain.
Well, okay. Alright, so they kick the clog up in the air. If the clog lands the way it's supposed to, the weather's going to be beautiful. But if the clog lands on its side, there's going to be snow. If the clog lands upside down, what are they going to have? Rain. Now you know that's not true. It's just a game the children play to guess what the weather will be. That's what they do. Bryce, get out your book and turn to page 20. Anybody else? Malachi? All right. So that is how she got a crack in her old clogs or her new clogs. Read that sentence again for us, please, Luke.
And that is how I made a crack in my new claw.
My new clog. So we're on page 20. Oh yeah, brand new book, kiddo. All right.
This movie you have.
Oh, okay, I'll bring it right back to you. They did not talk. Bryce, Miss Mitchie's sorry. Little sweetheart. Here we go. Here. Luke, you read last, right?
Here.
Okay, let's go to Charlotte. We'll just go to Charlotte.
Last scene. YouTube and
They did not talk.
They did not talk.
Cora.
Wasim. I'm here.
Yeah. When I ran. Uh-oh. Now when she's walking, she doesn't hear that same sound, does she? Read for us, please, Bryce. Boys and girls, actually, they need to get back here so they can hear the story.
Well, they're passing notes.
Just come on and sit down right now. Come on. Hurry up. Let's go, guys. Start at the top.
They did not hear for her when I walked. They did not sing look for her when I ran. They just sounded gore. I was sad.
All right, let's stop it right there. First, her shoes would make the sound carol. And now what are they saying? They're not making the same sound. Why aren't they making the same sound? What happened to Wasim? Xavier?
He got cracked.
They got cracked. Why? How did they get cracked, Wasim? What did she do? Watch Miss Moody. Everybody look at Miss Moody. Woo! What did Miss Moody? What does that mean? It's gonna rain, doesn't it? Now, only Miss Moody gets to do that because I'm the teacher. Don't you dare take your shoe off. You can't do that. But anyway, listen to Miss Moody. She did that for a game, a weather game, didn't she? And when she did that, what happened to her wooden clog, Layla? It cracked. It cracked. So she should not have done that. Now, read next for us, Bryce. Start with, shall I ask Mother to buy a new pair? Oh.
Shall I ask mother to buy a new pair?
And we will stop on that note, and we will find out. Malachi, read. I just want you to be able to read today. What does that say? Okay, you read. Stop it. Boys and girls, put your books away. Thank you so much for being so good today. Listen to Miss Moody. I appreciate that. Sweet children. Goodness gracious, sweetie, we're so lucky. Yes, my love. To go where? Well, you tell your family that y'all need to write to us, okay? And we'll write, and you get letters and letters and letters in the mailbox.